Hello everyone, it is Commander Monday again at our local game store here in town, and today I will be bringing my mono blue commander deck. Now again, with all my mono colored commanders, I have multiple possible commander decks in here, or commanders I should say. We have Baral, Chief of Compliance. He makes your instant and sorcery spells cost one less to cast, and whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card, discard a card. Gadwick the Wizened is a 3 blue and X legendary creature human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, draw X, and when you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. God Eternal Kefnet. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn. When you do, if you reveal an instant or sorcery card, you copy it and you can cast it. Copy costs 2 less. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it on its owner's library, third from the top. And the last one is the reality chip. Oops, sorry about the camera. And the reality chip is you may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as it's attached to a creature, you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library, and that costs 2 and a blue to reconfigure it onto a creature. Reconfigure is like equipping. I usually play Brawl, and the point of the deck is to win one of 2 ways. One way is mill your opponents out, which is not that difficult with this deck. I have about 12 cards that can mill. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Opponents exile the top card of their library until the player exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. Memory Erosion, when an opponent casts a spell, they mill 2. And Psychic Corrosion, when I draw a card, each opponent mills 2. And Maddening Cacophony, which if you kick it, each opponent mills half of their library. Paired with Teferi's Tutelage, which whenever I draw a card, each opponent mills. Milling is pretty quick. The second way to win, if you can see with this leveler here, is self-mill. Anything that targets a player to mill, you can target yourself. And what you want to do is get rid of your entire library. You can either self-mill or by using leveler, which when it enters, you remove your library from the game. And then you can cast Thassa's Oracle to automatically win if it resolves. Or use Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, which says if you withdraw a card while your library has no cards in hand, you win the game. And Laboratory Maniac, which does the same thing. Multiple ways to mill yourself or empty out your library. Self-mill, have a lot of card draw as well. I also have quite a few Planeswalkers in here that allow you to draw. We got Teferi, Master of Time, Jace, Arcane Strategist, more card draw, Mind Sculptor, got Folio of Fancies, gives you card draw and a way to actually cause opponents to mill. Jace Cunning Castaways in here because whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card, discard a card, but it also creates illusions. Another drawing Jace. So there's a lot of card draw in here. You are going to be casting, before I move on, these 2, Baleful Stare and Withering Gaze. Target opponent reveals his or her hand for Baleful Stare. You draw a card for each mountain and red card in it. And Withering Gaze is for every forest and green card. I'm looking for the other colors because I like these card draws. It may not be the most efficient, but it's fun. I also have some payoffs where you cast instants. There's the Docent of Perfection. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you put a 1/1 human wizard onto the battlefield. And if you have 3, transform into Final Iteration. Wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying, and when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token. There are quite a few instant or sorceries in here. Most of them are counter spells, which I have right here. You got Mana Drain, Flare of Denial, Narset's Reversal, and yes, I do have Isochron Scepter in here. Foil, Force of Negation, and Disruption Shoal. So these are the ones that have alternate casting conditions where you don't pay the mana cost, you exile. And then of course I have my favorite thing to do in Commander, and that is to steal other people's things. So I have Chaos Wand, which allows me to cast a card from an opponent's library if it's an instant or sorcery, which, like I said, one of my favorite things to do in the game of Magic is to play other people's Commander decks. But yeah, the premise of this deck is to to mill your opponents or mill yourself. Who would you choose as your commander for this? Brawl, drawing to counter. Gadwick, drawing cards and tapping opponents' permanents. Kefnet, copying your instant or sorceries and casting them for cheaper when you draw them. Or the Reality Chip, which just gives you card draw or card advantage. What would you do? What would you add? What cards would you remove? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.